not be for long if ETSU keeps collapsing. I'm watching this and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, the Buccaneers have arrived. I feel like they're going to win this game. I feel like they're going to beat a Big East team that may be ranked at the bottom of the conference, but still, has made the NCAAs the last 2 years and all this. And then I think it was a out games recently.
No, I don't think we didn't execute offensively. We blew a lot of sets. We 12-point lead there with 7 minutes to go, and they scored, I think, 11, maybe 11 of their last 12 possessions. Now, some of those plays were self-inflicted. Some of those plays were, I feel like, watching it, and I've watched it, I don't know, I probably watched it 5 times already.
Really? Okay.
I think we got some tough calls, but you got to overcome that, and we got to get better. We got to close that game out. 35 minutes. That's part of growing up and finishing as a team, and we can't put them on the foul line, and it's very hard to win a game when you only go to the line one time the entire game. And so that put a lot of pressure on our defense as well, and our offense to make shots. And so a lot of things go into it. You're right. Creighton's not picked at the top of the league, but they have won. I don't think they've lost a home game, non-conference home game, to unranked opponent since 2015. And it's a great environment. They're a very good offensive team. And so it was a challenge for us, and a disappointing loss, but something we're just going to have to learn from.
Well, Coach Steve Forbes, when I close my eyes and dream of what ETSU can be, sometimes I see Creighton. I look at a community. Omaha's not that much bigger than the Tri-Cities when you look at the TV markets.
Yeah. They got 1 million people.
We're 500,000 in this metro area.
Well, if you count Council Bluffs, Omaha, that whole area is close to 1 million people. That place.
It is several 100,000 people more. So I look at that, okay? And yeah, that...
They got a good program,
Mm-hmm.
People in Omaha love basketball. I mean, not that football is a deterrent, because I don't think it is. I think it's a great thing to have in your university. But, Creighton doesn't have football. It's a lot like Wichita State. They rally around, the basketball program. And so, it's always been that way, and I've played there many, many, many times, and they haven't always been good. I mean, when I first started coaching, they were really bad, but they always supported it. And then, Dana Altman came in there after Rick Johnson and got it going, and they've been on a pretty good run ever since. Greg's done a good job of, keeping it rolling. And now, it's been harder for them because they've stepped up, like Wichita. They've left them on to the Big East. Wichita went to American.
Ask you about you mentioned it here, not having football. Having football has allowed ETSU to go to the Southern Conference. Do you think you could have had the success that you've had these last 3 years if the Bucks were still in the A-Sun and didn't have football?
Well, probably maybe won more games.
Okay.
I don't think it's as good a league. I'd have the same players. I'd have the same fan support. So, potentially, to be honest with you, probably to win more games because the league's not as good. So, I love being in the Southern. I'm glad we are. But I think that's a great point, and I think it's a good reason to have football. I'm really happy for Randy, his program.
Although maybe a little bit slow against Creighton, big bucket, using the backboard at other points. I thought that, what did Creighton, though, do? Because I know that at a key time trying to come back and answer that late run, they had forced him off to the side to try to make a low percentage shot, if you will.
I think anybody's, defensive, game plan against people like Pat, Trey Boyd, they're going to try to run him off the three-point line. And, Pat's used to that. And he's good at the shot fake and step to the, one dribble to the side, stay on the line and shoot it. He had a run there. I think he made 2 or 3. I remember in a row there when we got the lead. And then when it was, then late in the game, he did miss a couple that were pretty good looks. A couple were contested, but those are shots that he can make. I think it hurt him a little bit a lot of responsibility at the point. It takes a lot of energy. And it was a little bit harder for him maybe to get his shot. And so maybe that had something to do with it. But I have a lot of faith in Patrick. I think I really, really, really like him as not only as a player but as a person. You know, every once in a while, Mark, you get a coach kids that are great leaders on and off the court, and he's really one of those kind of kids. He says all the right things.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching him, and I think, you know, we got him for 3 years, and I'm looking forward to having him.
Another player I think that has really stepped up, you didn't hear a lot about him before the year, but James Harrison. I don't have the stats right here, but it seems like he's making a lot of big plays during the course of games and such. Tell us a little bit, if you could comment a little bit about James Harrison. I thought he had retired from the Patriots.
He did a good job against Georgia State. I think he was 3 for 3 from the field. James has always had the ability. He's always been rebounding and defending, and he's tried really hard to improve in those areas. And you know, we played him some last night. He got a couple tough calls on screens that, you know, one of them was for sure. One of them I thought was very easy. You know, he's a senior. He's the only one we have, and this is my youngest I've ever had here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hopeful for him. I'm hopeful for him to have feeling good about themselves, feeling good about. That's what I'm hopeful for James. I can see James helping us a lot.
That you've always been talking about, who's coming on now, is Jeremy Rodriguez, Dominican. You have a lot of JUCO ties, and you got him out of Northwest Florida State Community College. There's a name. But I want to ask you, what is the basketball like in the Dominican Republic? We always hear about the baseball, but basketball. Tell us a little bit about what you know about the hoops down in the Dominican Republic.
Well, it's really, really good. There's some really, really good players coming out of the Dominican right now. And you're right. I mean, baseball is the number one sport. And Jerome grew up as a young kid playing baseball and still loves baseball to this day. If you had a conversation with him, he'd love to talk baseball. But, you know, he grew, to 6'8", and, could, I guess, still play baseball, but he chose basketball. But there's some really, really, really good players. There's a lot of Dominican high school players coming to the United States right now to play. There's a bunch in Chattanooga and Hamilton Heights. Jerome's buddy, who was the point guard on his junior college team. I know there's more. I mean, I could go on, but basketball. But I'm hopeful that Jerome's having a good time at ETSU. He's playing well. He's enjoying it. Hopefully we can attract maybe another player or two sometime down the road.
This brings up a question. So I was not aware that Rodriguez had been a baseball player. Now, I don't know how good he was, but let's just say that a Joe Panucci once came to you and said, I only have so many scholarships. Would you approve of a basketball player playing baseball for hypothetically?
Sure I would. Sure I would. I did it. I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't. I would love to have a player, two-sport guy. It's hard, though, because the schedules overlap a lot, especially in the spring. The reason why I was able to do it is because I was a pitcher. I think it'd be really hard to play a position and be a two-sport guy, especially baseball, basketball. Maybe football, baseball. But football, basketball, baseball is a tough combination because of just the overlap of the schedule happening. So, but if I had a kid that wanted to do anything, and I'm one of those guys when the season's over. I don't guys really hard once the season's over until the end of school. And it's a long season. We're the only 2-semester sport and it's just a long grind. And so when the season's over, our guys still lift and do those things, but I don't push them hard basketball live until June. I let them finish up academically. I let them enjoy being a student. So if one of those kids wanted to be a baseball player, that'd be awesome.
All right. Speaking of, the grinding basketball schedule, you got a week off before you go to Winthrop, and then it seems the games come right after the other with Chicago State, Cayman Island Classic, etc. How are you going to use this off week? Does it help at this time, or would you rather be playing more regular games due to the fact the season is just now getting underway?
No, I think it comes at a really good time. We played 3 games last week from Tuesday to
I know that you were talking a bit apologetic about having to schedule Hiawassee, but you did beat them by 65 points. Were you aware that that was only 3 points away from ETSU's biggest victory in their history?
No, I really wasn't until after, I think the next day I read something like that. And I wasn't, I was trying to beat them that bad. I told you, after at the press conference,
Yeah.
check the box. Just want to check the boxes of, winning, hard, and I never want to try to embarrass anybody. We just thought we played pretty well and got accomplished what we needed to get accomplished on, for that type of game.
So if the note had come to you on the bench that, hey, you're have a chance for the all-time victory, that wouldn't have been a motivation to.
I mean, now, for young, like one time, a couple years ago, TJ had 9 threes in the game, and I didn't know he even had 9, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Record was 10, and had I known something individual like that, I might let him get another shot or two up before, close it, shut him down. But team-wise, I don't think so. I don't think I'd want to do anything to try to, embarrass anybody like that anymore. It's hard enough getting beaten and getting beat that bad. It makes it worse.
Well, it's at Winthrop, and like ETSU, they're a strong mid-major. That is Saturday afternoon. And then Chicago State, which is one of my favorite programs because it's this anonymous program, but it's got a name that everybody can relate to, Chicago State. You just throw out the name Chicago State and, as an anonymous athletic program, and suddenly people are like, oh, okay, they can kind of relate to it in that regard and all that.
Kind of like,
yeah.
Chicago's not a state, but Wichita's not a state, so maybe they're kind of the same boat.
Yeah. Everybody knows where Chicago is, and if it's state, then they know that just haven't heard of the Cougars before. They're not that good of a program historically, although I will tell you this. You're a former baseball player. You may appreciate this. 2012, Albert Carpin hit .425 for the Cougars baseball team. It was the second highest batting average in all of Division I college.
No idea.
He's a friend of mine.
Right.
There you go.
A good friend of mine is the head coach of basketball now, Lance Urban, and I think he just got the job late. But I think Lance is going to do a good job. His family, the Urban family, is kind of the basketball family of the city of Chicago. They've had a lot of their family members be great players in that city and play college ball. Some Byron played professionally, and so I think over time, Lance is going to do a really good job in Chicago.
There you go. Well, he'd be the first maybe because it always seems like they're at the bottom of the standings wherever they are and all that. But yeah, at least he's got a relatable name for people to come and pay attention to him and such.
His dad Mac passed away a couple years ago.
Oh.
The godfather of Chicago basketball, and rightfully so. And
more than Ray Meyer.
I'm talking about in the high school ranks.
Okay.
No, Ray Meyer is a legendary, obvious name in the city of Chicago and always was too, but more in the prep, AAU circuit, and a guy that was very involved in grassroots basketball his entire life. Good people, very good family, and I'm a big fan of Lance. I hope he does well.
There you go. It's Steve Forbes. The basketball season has begun. The big league sport in I didn't even have a chance to talk to you about dominating Creighton on the offensive boards. We'll get to that later on and all that because I know that that's got to be something to build on as well. It's Tri-City Sports Now, and we'll return after this. Well, thank you very much.